Hey everybody, hope you're doing great today. This is Paul from This Way to the Aquarium. Today's video I want to talk about the Aquarium Co-op Easy Flow Sponge Filter Upgrade Kit. So I bought these in the past. I bought a bunch of them. Actually, all my tanks right here that have sponge filters in them are running in this, which basically pretty much every tank. The only tank that doesn't have it right now is a 75 gallon, which I'm still working on. But I purchased these to run on my sponge filters. So pretty much most of these sponge filters in these tanks are also Aquarium Co-op. Just as a note, I was not paid for this video, and I've paid for all the sponge filters and the extension kits with my own money, so this is not a sponsored video. I do have the one sponge filter in this tank over here is not an Aquarium Co-op, but this Easy Flow upgrade kit did work with that filter as well too. The nice thing about these is they are interchangeable with some of your other sponge filters. So I've primarily been purchasing the Aquarium Co-op sponge filters. They seem to work great for me. Haven't had many issues. And so this is an added upgrade now. Now when you buy existing sponge filters, they're sending you this alongside it. In the past, what they had is just a regular tube that you would just insert your air line into, and it would plug into part of the sponge filter where the air pumped out and the bubbles came up. So they switched over to this upgrade kit here. So basically what it is an angled tube. So this part, so the base over here plugs into the top of the sponge filter, and then the nice thing about it is it's got a little connection here for your airline tubing. So you connect it in here, and then the air comes out from the inside of this versus in the sponge filter itself. So this is collapsible. You can actually take it apart too if you want to, you need to reduce the size, which I've had to do for a couple of my tanks because I didn't need it as tall. So as you can see, some of the pieces do collapse down. You can compress them down to make it shorter, and then at the same time too, if you need to take out a piece, you can take out a piece there and just shorten it that way too. So one of the biggest benefits that I see and I like these for is that it allows the water to be directed a little more compared to where if it's just a straight up tube going straight up, you don't get any direction. It's kind of going wherever the flow of the water is going in that case. So with my tanks, what I do with this is I will put the heater close by to the sponge filter. So there's, let's say the heater's on this side over here, and then as the water flows out, that also helps take the heat and spread it out further down the tank. So especially when you're using sponge filters, you don't have any actual type of wave maker, and you don't have any type of filter that's sucking water and making a lot more current to make sure that water gets circulated well enough. Then you can get pockets of temperature where it might be a little bit warmer on this side of the tank compared to that side of the tank. But with this Easy Flow upgrade kit, it improves that and it changes the flow in the tank. Another nice thing about these, and something that they advertise on the package, is that it makes it quieter. So I definitely did notice that. As you can see here, I've got 6 tanks here running behind me, all have these Easy Flow upgrade kits on them, and you really don't hear the bubbling back there. Yeah, I do have some sound curtains behind me over here that kind of help to dampen the sound, but the time before when I didn't have these installed on some of the tanks that were up and running, it was much more noisier. You could hear those bubbles coming up. So pretty much I use them in all my tanks. There's one tank I don't use it on. I've got a quarantine tank over there. It's just that I haven't gotten around to using it. Right now that quarantine tank, it really only has snails and just some plants in there, nothing else. There's no need for me to upgrade that tank at this point in time. Maybe at some point in the future I will. So in terms of interchangeability, as you can see here, I've got an off-brand sponge filter picked off of, actually I got this from Aquarium Society freebie, basically a door prize. So it's easy enough, just pop it in and then away you go. So I don't even have to just go with Aquarium Co-op sponge filters. I can use this just fine. It'll pump just fine, and actually this one is going to go into my 75 gallon tank over here. With the adjustable height is nice too, so in a couple of my tanks over here I've got multiple filters, one on each side. You can actually even adjust one level, so it's a little higher, one's a little lower, just so you get some cross currents going, some more flow going. Depending on the size of your tank, you might want to go with one filter or 2 filters. I've got a fry tank over here I'm going to show in a minute that's got a single filter, versus I've got larger adult fish over on this side. Larger adult Tanganyikan fish, they've got 2 filters in there. That in really case, it's more that it's really over filtered in the sense that I don't have that many fish in there, so I don't think I need that many, but I put it in there just for the sake of putting it in there. The nice thing about that too is by having it in there, I can easily cycle a new tank by taking one of those active filters in there, taking it out, popping it in a new tank, putting a new filter in that tank over there, and that new tank is instantly cycled from that active filter. So I purchased this Aquarium Co-op sponge filter prior to the upgrade where they added the Easy Flow kit. As you can see, it's got a small little tube over here. This is the size the tube comes with, and you can see here the sponge filter has, trying to get it focused, has a little port right there. You plug in your air line and then run this through, have the air line run through the extension tube, the riser tube, and just pop it on and away you go. So that's how the old system worked. Now if you're running multiple tanks, the one thing that I found is that I've got a lot of leftover tubes like these over here. So like in this case, I just added 2 Easy Flow kits to my 75-gallon tank over here, and then just in order to shorten it, I've got extra plastic tubes over here. So I do keep these. You never know when you need them. You might have to swap something out, or one tube breaks for whatever reason, so I can always swap them out. But that's one minor negative, and especially since I've got multiple tanks over here. As you can imagine, I've got a number of these pieces shoved in a box over there that are just kind of sitting unused. So as you can see here, I've got 2 in this shrimp tank over here. This is something that's definitely over filtered. I've got an empty tank over here. No fish in it right now, just some plants. Small Aquarium Co-op filter in there, sponge filter along with the riser tube, the Easy Flow tube. Got one in here, in my shell dweller tank. This is the 40-gallon that I've got 2 in. So you can see that they've got some algae growing on them. Snails kind of take care of it. A little bit of air leaking out of that one there, not a big deal. It's still flowing at the top. On the 75-gallon, which I'm setting up, I'm going to put in 2 filters over here. So the one non-Aquarium Co-op sponge filter along with the Easy Flow tube, and then an Aquarium Co-op filter on this side, also with an Easy Flow tube. So one thing I did notice with this is, and I think that really only happens with this particular tank where I've got small fry in there, and you can see the flow is pretty low on that one over there. So what I'm thinking happens is that the fry will go ahead and munch on the algae inside that sponge. So these particular fries, these are Gelidochromis, they enjoy munching on the algae. It's part of their diet, and so they go and eat that, and it kind of gets kicked into the tube, and that slows the flow down. So this is turned on the same level as all my other tanks, not any less. As you can see, the flow over here is pretty strong flow. As in this one too, it's going pretty well. Similar with my shrimp tank over here, the flow is going pretty well. So the fix for that is pretty easy. It's not that big of a deal. So the fix for this slow flowing filter does involve putting in your hands in there, getting your hands wet, but hey, this is the aquarium hobby. We do like to get our hands wet, at least we should. So just pop it off and then clean out in this case I'm just shoving my finger in the tube over here and then cleaning it out. And as you can see, that the flow is already starting to go a little better. And there you can see that flow is much stronger. So it just involved a little bit of cleaning the tube. I have had to do it a couple times to this filter, as well as the other tank that has the parent Gelidochromis, along with there's still a couple fry in that tank as well there too. So really the only ones I had to clean up so far are my tank upstairs. Similar type of thing. They've got these Pseudotropheus solosi fish in there. They're also algae munchers, so they'll occasionally go up to the filter and munch the algae off. So some of it I think gets released into the filter, gets sucked further up in, starts growing in and around the little airline area there where the air feeds in and shoots bubbles out. So it slows it down. So it's an easy fix. Like I said, it's a matter of inserting your finger into that tube over there, cleaning it out, and then the flow is back to normal again. Now I did order from Amazon or brushes for a tube, and basically because the algae does form up in and along the way, even though it's pretty much free-flowing, I don't have too many issues. Every now and then it'll be nice to have a flexible brush that basically you can just slide it into the tube, both ends, clean it out, get it flowing much better. So as with anything aquarium related, maintaining things on a periodic basis helps things flow smoothly. So overall, after using these for 6-7+ months, I'm very happy with them. For any new tanks that I use sponge filters on, I will continue to buy the Aquarium Co-op sponge filters along with their Easy Flow extension tube kit. Let me know your questions in the comment section below. Do you have any questions about these sponge filters, about the maintenance of these sponge filters and the Easy Flow kit? And what are your thoughts? Do you use these type of sponge filters, or what else are you using for filtration? Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.